What's on, ladies and gentlemen? My name's Ross, I like games, and today we are back with the 6th and final round from day 1 of the Schaumburg, Chicago, Illinois Adepticon, call it what you will, Vault Tour. On the left, we've got Gaxpox, the borrower of the Atrium. On the right, we've got Curiously Avid Grim. We have got Sanctum, Mars Shadows, going up against Brobnar Dis Shadows. So once again, there's an awful lot of shadows. Ladies and gentlemen, why would there not be an awful lot of shadows? That's how this game works at the moment. Shadows really has separated itself out as the very strongest house, certainly in terms of Call of the Archons. One would assume that when the second set Age of Ascension comes out, there's going to be some rebalancing. Shadows is not just going to be the best house forever, but as it stands at the moment, we see a lot of Shadows, because Shadows is like crazy good. So we probably should be expecting it. Both of these players, of course, are in round 6, which means they're doing quite well. We've got a couple of decent decks, which have been having, let's say, a little bit of success. Speaking of success, it does not seem like we've got the same camera problems we had in round 5. I should say a huge thank you to Cascade Games LLC, who are the lovely people providing the stream. I'm sitting at home in England, in Cornwall, in my little house, and in the commentary, but if it wasn't for Cascade Games, I wouldn't even have the footage. So we start off here, and it looks like we're going to call him Gaz on the left, puts down a Mother Gun. Mother Gun is a lovely little artifact. You reveal any number of Mars cards you like, and you do that number of damage to one of your opponent's creatures. But it looks like Mr. Grimm, as we're going to call him, actually gets down a Restringuntus right away, which basically stops your opponent choosing a particular house as their active house until Restringuntus is taken off the field. Yeah, that's going to be pretty good. He's also got a Lash of Broken Dreams down here, which is an extremely useful card. It increases the cost of your opponent forging a key by 3. That's going to stop your opponent forging a key an awful lot of the time. There is an action, so you've got to actually use it. Now, looks like we get a Sanctum Guardian actually coming down from Gaz here. It's got Taunt, and it's got a Fight and Reap skill that allows you to swap it around your battle line. Of course, given that Taunt allows you to, it basically forces you to attach it rather than your opponent, rather than the ones either side of it. Yeah, that's pretty gosh darn good, ladies and gentlemen. That is going to help. Now, I believe was that a Blinding Light stunning Restringuntus? I believe it may have been. But still not a huge amount of board presence here. Not a huge amount there. Yeah, and we just saw, basically it got free Ember there just by coming down and, getting some Ember down, to be honest. Now, we do see a similar thing going on for Mr. Grimm here, just playing a few actions that aren't doing a huge amount, but they are getting him some Ember, which is going to help him very, very much indeed. I mean, you need Ember to win the game. Now, these players are playing at a rather furious pace. Gaz here goes straight away. Looks like he gets himself a Sergeant Zakiel down onto the field. And that's a fun little Sanctum creature. When you play it, you can ready and fight with a neighbouring creature, and just using that to get Restringuntus off the field. That's huge. Restringuntus does a lot, ladies and gentlemen. It does a lot of damage. So both the players sitting at 3 Ember each, it looks like, mostly from just playing cards with Ember bonuses. And looks like Mr. Grimm's got himself a Headhunter down on the field. Oh, no, Headhunter's gone away. Oh, because we've got Gateway to Dis coming down. Destroys all creatures, regardless of whether they're yours or your opponent's, but you get to gain 3 chains. And then straight away we see an Ember Imp coming down, restricting your opponent to playing 2 cards per turn. They can use as many cards as they like, but they can only play 2 cards during their turn. And nominally he uses the Lash of Broken Dreams, but it doesn't really do anything. Yeah. I mean, if he was playing some kind of key cheating like Chota Hazri or Key Charge, maybe. But he's not. Now we do see old Bruno coming down here, stealing free Ember when it comes into play, which is kind of nice. We do see Charette in Dis, which often does that, which incidentally Mr. Grimm is playing himself. And he's having a better turn here. Still not got enough. He's up to 4 Ember now, which is quite nice. And he stopped his opponent having very much, but it's not like he's got the biggest, baddest turn ever. Oh, we see a Fear coming down. Fear makes your opponent pick up one of their creatures. And of course, if there's any Ember on it, then you get that Ember right back. So Mr. Grimm putting himself in a good position here, getting himself up to 5 Ember. It's not quite enough to forge yet. Oh, and it doesn't look like he's actually able to do so, unfortunately, which is a little bit sad. Hey-ho. Does get a life word down, which can stop your opponent playing creatures on their next turn. Oh, but we do see Grabber Jammer coming down from Gaz here. That will increase the cost of your opponent forging a key. And I actually get a Red Planet Ray Gun on there. When you reap, you deal 1 damage to a creature for each Mars creature in play. That is for both yours and your opponent's. Oh, and he actually discards Gromid. Oh, I do like Gromid. But you can't win them all, ladies and gentlemen. Gromid almost never actually works, unfortunately, which is a little bit sad. Plus, Gromid stops you playing creatures, so you've got to really be ready to have Gromid on the field. You can't just chuck Gromid down and cross your fingers. Doesn't really work like that. It can do you an awful lot of harm there. So we do see Shula coming down from Mr. Grimm. If your opponent has 4 or more Ember, steal 1, which it seems to do quite nicely here. And he hasn't been able to forge, unfortunately, but he is sitting there with quite the pool of Ember, and his opponent's only got 5. So Gaz isn't going to be forging a key next turn. Mr. Grimm could be, oh, but here we go, unfortunately. The stealing has begun. Now, we do see Ghostly Hand coming down, gain 2 Ember. You don't get to steal 1, unfortunately, because his opponent does not have exactly 1 Ember. Is that 2 Ghostly Hand in 1 turn? He does play 2. That's good, ladies and gentlemen. That's very, very good. That's going to help him out greatly. Now, he does play 4 copies of Routine Job. I think he's played 1 or 2 of them at this stage. So, oh, but too much to protect. Mr. Grimm gets a too much to protect, forcing your opponent to discard or, to steal all but 6 of your opponent's Ember. Can still forge, except down comes Noddy the Thief. No. Oh, okay. Pops down a Noddy the Thief, destroys it with Relentless Whispers. And when you destroy a creature with Relentless Whispers, you steal an Ember. So that was a really nice little run from Mr. Grimm there. Plays too much to protect, plays down Noddy the Thief, destroys it using Relentless Whispers, and all of that together puts his opponent in a position where he is unable to forge a key. Although, looks like Gaz has got something cooking here. Now, it wasn't Blinding Light, I'll tell you that much. Is that Doorstep to Heaven? Each player with 6 or more Ember is reduced to 5. Yes, it is, ladies and gentlemen. Doorstep to Heaven actually takes away one of Mr. Grimm's Ember there. So that actually means that now neither player is forging. Both players are sitting down with 5 Ember. Doorstep to Heaven, it's right up there with something like Too Much to Protect in terms of stopping your opponent reaping. So that's really, really handy. Again, these decks aren't playing bait and switch, but we've seen time and again the best decks in Keyforge have these emergency you can't forge cards. And that seems to be working quite nicely. Now, we do see a nice little run of creatures coming down from Mr. Grimm here. And, oh, he is just going for it. I think there's 4 Brobnar creatures coming down in very quick succession. That is going to help, ladies and gentlemen. Now, I believe he also got a Tireless Crocag down there. And that can be used as if it belonged to the active house. Does, however, get destroyed if it's the only creature on the field. Well, if your opponent's got none. So that can be a bad thing. That can end up doing some damage in the end. But this is going to help him out. Having a lot of creatures out is going to help. Although it looks like Tireless Krokag has already gone and left. We do see a Y-Exili Marauder. Sorry, Y-Exilix Dominator coming down. Along with a Zizix the Many. I do like that card. So it's all happening here, ladies and gentlemen. There's lots of creatures out. No keys being forged yet. Everyone's just staying around on just a little bit. And we actually saw a Blood of Titans coming down, which gives +5 power to a creature. Used it to take out that Y-Exili Dominator, which is going to be kind of helpful at this stage. So, yeah, there's an awful lot happening here. Now, incidentally, it is on a Mugwump, which fully heals and gains a +1 power counter when it destroys a creature. That's kind of helpful. And now you see Mr. Grimm just going ahead and just getting rid of his opponent's creatures. Just completely getting rid. Just lots of fighting. He's just trying to wipe the board here, and it's going pretty well. We look at it now, and we just see he's got an awful lot of Brobnar creatures out. And his opponent has very, very little. Now, we do see another old Bruno coming down. Stealing free Ember, that's going to help. And we actually see Oubliette purge a creature with 3 power or lower. Were there any there? Might not have actually used it. Oh, we saw routine jobs. There's another routine job just comes down there. Allows you to steal 1 Ember +1 for each routine job in your discard pile. And there are 4 in his deck. So you can see there he's actually managed to put Mr. Grimm to 0 Ember while building up a nice little stash of Ember himself. This is really nice. Even though he's not got much of a board. Now, he's sitting there on 7 Ember, and his opponent is wiping his board again, as he tends to do, and he's getting his Ember back from old Bruno. But one of the things that Brobnar is not good at is stealing Ember or making your opponent lose. Now he's got a Bumpsy in there, and Bumpsy can make your opponent lose an Ember. But it looks like he's actually not able to stop his opponent forging a key. So after all that, nice board position, getting rid of all of those creatures. But it's still Gaz that actually goes ahead and forges the first key there. Goes up 1 key to nothing. He doesn't really have the board position. But having said that, look at all the creatures on Mr. Grimm's side of the field. There are a lot of damage sticking around. Oh, we actually see the Mother Gun coming out. Taking out one of those creatures. And then just playing the Grabber Jammer down. The Ulig Megamouth. In fact, I believe that's 2 Ulig Megamouth, 1 either side of the Grabber Jammer. And this is good. Ulig Megamouth, incidentally, when you fight or reap, you may use a friendly non-Mars creature. It's house cheating. Having 2 of them down is pretty good. Although it doesn't have any friendly non-Mars creatures at the moment. Just like that, Grabber Jammer goes down. That Mugwump just really becoming a beast. It's got Blood of Titan, so it's got +5 power. And then it's got what looks like 4 +1 power counters. And what he actually keeps doing there is using Gauntlet of Command to ready and fight with a friendly creature. That Mugwump is becoming an absolute beast. I mean, it started as a 6 power. It's now a 15 power creature. Mugwump is not going anywhere anytime soon, ladies and gentlemen. So we do see Bad Penny and Seeker Needle coming down here, along with an Urchin to steal an Ember. And it looks like just a very quick turn from Gaz here. That's all he needed to do. But he's set up now. He's got a much better board position than he did. And now what can Mr. Grimm do? Still not forging a key. He's been able to get a bunch of Brobnar creatures out. He's been able to fight with his creatures. What he's not been able to do is get and keep Ember. And the thing about that Mugwump might be a beast, but it's not getting him any Ember at the moment. And what happens if his opponent's able to just take it out cheekily? Oh, then we see Seeker Needle Bad Penny coming down from Mr. Grimm and a Miasma. Now, Miasma's a very fun little card. Makes your opponent skip their forging a key stage. Although, to be fair, I don't believe... I don't think Gaz actually could have done it. It looks like Gaz has only actually got 4 Ember. But either way, Miasma does give you an Ember bonus, so it's very much worth playing. So now we've got a bit of a Shadows presence. There's a Nexus there as well. Lets you use an opponent's artifact as if it were your own. So it looks like we're going back into Sanctum for Gaz here, and he's just getting a couple of creatures down. Trying to make sure that he can get rolling. Now, there is a Staunch Knight, 6 power, 2 armor while it's on a flank, so that's a little bit beastly there. Oh, and it looks like he's actually able to take out that Brobnar artifact, that Gauntlet of Command that he's been using so effectively. That's really quite handy. And then we see a Take Hostages coming down. For the remainder of the turn, each time a friendly creature fights, it captures 1 Ember. Has he got anyone to fight with, though? And you get an Ember bonus for playing it, but this looks like another one of those situations where, good news, you do get to capture a bunch of Ember. Bad news, you don't, because you got nothing to fight with. The Ember bonus is nice, but it's... I mean, look, he's forged 2 keys at this stage. So he's up 2 keys to 0. So he's in a decent position. But he's still... He's not won yet. But he's got a nice board. Having said that, he is up by 2 keys. He has got a nice board rolling. So this is pretty nice on his part. I kind of like this. It certainly seems like Gaz is rolling into the lead here. Question is, what can Mr. Grimm do? Good news is there's no 3rd key coming down in the immediate future, which is nice. But it's still... He's still not in a great position. He's not forged any keys yet. Now, good news is... Oh, he's actually... He just used Nexus to copy his opponent's Seeker Needle to destroy Bad Penny. And when you destroy a creature using Seeker Needle, you gain an Ember. And now he's going to be able to use his... And now he reaps with Bad Penny. And now he uses Relentless Whispers to destroy the Bad Penny to gain an Ember. And now he's going to be able to put Bad Penny down and Seeker Needle it to gain himself another Ember. Oh no, he's actually going to use it to get rid of his opponent's Urchin, it looks like. Oh, and then using Urchin to steal an Ember. This is a very powerful turn, ladies and gentlemen. He's got a lot of, you know, he's ending the turn with more creatures down than he started. His opponent now has 0 Ember, and he's sitting there with what looks like 9? Looks like he's got 9 Ember rolling there. So you got to hand it to him. He needed a big turn, and he got a big turn. But having said that, he's played his Miasma. He's played his Too Much to Protect. What is he? Now he needs to run through his deck and shuffle up again. Oh... That was a Too Much to Protect. And that, ladies and gentlemen, was a routine job. And there's an Urchin. So yeah. This is... Oh man, he had such a good turn as well. And this is what... Incidentally, right, if anyone out there is wondering, is watching this and wondering, right, Wossy, why is Shadow so good? This... In one turn, he's gone from my opponent's got 9 Ember and I've got, like, none, to I've got 6 and my opponent's got 4. In a single turn of Shadows. And he's only got 1 key left to forge in order to win the game. This is gonna get him there pretty gosh darn quickly, ladies and gentlemen. This is gonna get him there pretty gosh darn quickly. Now, he's just pointing there, he's like, hang on a second, I've got Whispering Reliquary. Which, oh, and there's nothing he can do. He used it to return an artifact to his opponent's hand, and his opponent, there's nothing. He's got enough Ember to forge a key. Mr. Grimm is sitting there going, I cannot stop you forging a key. There's nothing I can do. Good game. And we see the power of Shadows. Just sitting there going, you know what? I can win this. He started the turn with, it was either no or very little Ember, while his opponent had 8. And he ended the turn with his opponent going, I can't stop you forging next turn, you win. Yeah, Shadows is good, ladies and gentlemen. So congratulations to Gaz, not his real name, I had to make it up. a fun game, and we saw there he was just able to kind of ignore his opponent fighting. The Brobnar creatures on Mr. Grimm's side of the field were fighting and clearing the board, and Gaz just kind of ignored them and did his thing. Got out the win. So there we go, ladies and gentlemen. Time for discussing this in the comment section. And then make sure, go nuts, be nice, you know the deal. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, and follow me on Twitter at the Wossy, where we talk about games. But by far the most important thing as always, look after yourselves till next time. Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching Wossy Plays.